Hey guys, Sen here, back in with some more capital raids, and today I'm showcasing one of the most fun troops in the clan capital, and that is the Skeleton Barrel. Now, to understand the Skeleton Barrel, you need to get to know Larry better. So Larry is a fragile skeleton who gets one shot by just about every single defense on the base, and that's including the Super Wizard Chains, a single multi-mortar shell, as well as all the level 1 point defenses that can be on a base. All of them will take out a Larry in one shot. So that sounds bad and is bad, but Larry has one trick up his sleeve, and that is insane numbers. So the Skeleton Barrel comes in a pack of 3 barrels, and each individual barrel carries a ton of Larrys. So many that only splash defenses can handle the swarm of Larrys. So when you see a huge section of the base like this that's not being guarded by any splash defenses, your Larrys are going to be unstoppable. Let's watch this replay and see how we're going to do this. So the thing with the Skeleton Barrels, because they get one shot by everything, that also means that they get taken out by log traps, by small bombs, and giant bombs, all at the same time as one, so you have to be careful. Look at that one log trap, that just sprung a bunch of skeletons. So the key to using these barrels effectively is to not use them all at once. You notice how I'm just sprinkling them in one at a time as they move further into the base? This is so that as the Larrys get taken out, they get reinforced by more Larrys in behind. So they're just gonna march through this base. I triggered a lot of the traps on the approach, and there's not many traps left. So at this point, they have free reign to just cut through all of these buildings. And you notice I dropped the barb down there south. That also triggered a log trap, so bring some rams and some barbarians to open up walls as well as trigger traps. But look, the moment they get in range of a splash defense, they just all get taken out. So that one giant cannon shot just sprung like 30 Larrys. But at this point, we already cleared up the left side of the base. We can't really push any further because we're going into a wizard tower as well as a giant cannon. So now I work up the right side of the base with a couple more skeleton barrels. And you'll see the barrels are just going to go in, the Larrys are just going to march forward, cutting through all of these air defenses, this spear thrower, but wait 1 second. Oh, there's a small bomb, all of them are dead. So that is the thing with the skeleton barrels. You have to be careful about traps and splash defenses because they are really vulnerable to them. So, but as you can see, I still have 6 zaps to use. The skeleton barrels don't need any spell support. They just do their work on their own as long as you identify the right bases for them. And so I could just bring some zaps to zap down some air defenses so I can easily clean up the base on the second attack. And at this point, I'll just fast forward because I just need to figure out how I'm going to use those last 2 balloons to take out as much of the base as possible. And as you can see, I have taken out more than 2/3 of the base with 1 attack, and those 8 Larrys got me more than 50% of the base. Alright, here we go. We just need to finish off the base. So I decided to just use my fortress because there is almost no splash defenses left on the base. There's a couple of air bombs and a blast bow, and the fortress as one big tanky unit can just handle those air splash defenses as I sneak in some rocket balloons to take them out. So I'll just fast forward through this because this base has been demolished already on the first attack by all of those Larrys, and we're just it's basically a matter of cleaning up what's left on the base, sending a couple of rocket balloons to pick off the trash at the end, and that is the first base down in 2 attacks using 8 Larrys. Alright, and with our second batch of skeleton barrels, this time against Balloon Lagoon. So anyone who was here for Friday's stream might recognize these first 2 replays because we did these at the start of the stream. These attacks were really cool, so I wanted to share them on my YouTube, but I also wanted to announce that I'll probably be doing regular streams Friday at 6 p.m. EST if you want to watch some live capital raids. So heading into this replay, once again, this attack is all about base identification. So these rocket artilleries and all of these splash defenses are deep inside the base, and they're not covering these sections of the base, and so I can just sneak in my skeleton barrels and take them all out. But notice once again that I drop the skeleton barrels 1 at a time because you'll see how many traps there are on this approach. So first a Tesla pops, and then 2 small bombs get triggered by one of those 3 skeleton barrels, and then they'll work through this Tesla afterwards, work through that small little hut, and then boom, another small bomb, and then boom, another giant bomb this time. So there were a lot of traps on this approach because I'm assuming this, the base builder rightly assumed that a lot of people would be going up this bottom side of the base. And so it was really trapped, but just with a couple of skeleton barrels, I was able to clear that side, as well as push in my way through all of those traps. So at this point, there's not many traps that can even be left on the base, but I still want to sprinkle in my barrels one at a time, sending them in different directions so one trap isn't going to take them all out. And you'll see that those skeletons going up the right side of the base are eventually going to get in range of the rocket artillery. And so I've brought a couple of rocket balloons in my army, and the plan with those is that I sneak them on top of this spear thrower. They'll take that out and then go after this rocket artillery and take that out to protect my skeletons. Because if I can take out this rocket artillery, I'm able to work through this left side of the base with all of these point defenses as well. So I take out this rocket artillery, send in a ram to open up the compartment into all of these defenses. And notice how I send in more rams to clear more walls up ahead. And also those rams and the barbarians that come out are going to probe for traps. So you'll see this one ram, it'll enter the compartment even though there's no small bombs left. Had there been one, my skeletons would have been protected by those rams. And with the last group of barrels and ram, look at that one ram. I went in and took out 2 small bombs and a log trap. I only had 1 barrel left, so I had to make sure that the skeletons from those barrels didn't run into a trap. So I used that ram to go after this wall, send it at an angle to go after that wall, and take out any traps that would harm my skeletons. So once again, on this attack, I'm able to take out more than 2/3 of the base with the first attack, and I can just finish this base with the second attack. I still have 2 spells. Remember, Rages and Heals and Frost spells in the clan capital, they'll last for 2 attacks. So I brought those spells for the next attack because I want to try something fun. Alright, to finish off the space, we are using our signature Super Wizards with rams, and you're going to see how this is going to work if you haven't already seen one of my videos on this strategy. So first, we want to clear our way with archers towards this district hall, and then the district hall has a lot of HP, and so we start sending in our Super Wizards to start chaining down the district hall as well as taking all of the defense around it. And we're going to protect those Super Wizards with battle rams. And it looks so ridiculous, but it works, and I love this strategy. So we start in after that rocket artillery subsides. We start in with our rams, a couple of them, and then just drop in our Super Wizards, and then a couple more rams in behind when the earlier ones get taken out. And look, those Super Wizards chain out all of those defenses around the capital, and then they're full health because the rams tanked for them, and then they'll also take out that rocket artillery for me. And well, at this point, it's just easy cleanup with our rocket balloons. We even have 2 more archers that we can use to take out this rocket artillery plus the ram. And so we snipe that rocket artillery out, and there's only 2 defenses left that can even hit rocket balloons. So that's just an easy cleanup with those 6 rocket balloons. And that was the second attack where we were able to use mass Larrys. Alright, so if you stuck around this long in the video, I have a treat for you because I just had one of the sickest attacks that I've done in the clan capital. So for some context, I actually didn't attack the space first, so my clanmate attacked this space, but then they ran out of attacks, so it fell on me to try to finish off this space. And you can see there is so much left with the capital peak, the blast bow, the giant cannons, the rocket artillery, and the inferno towers. And so this is going to showcase the fact that sometimes you're not going to be able to set up the bases in a way that you would want to. And you're going to have to work with what the previous attacker gave you instead to clean up the base in as few attacks as possible. So let's see how I get this done. I start off dropping a rage right there. So the placement of that rage is really important. I'm able to get in between these 2 compartments, in between these 2 multi-mortars, cover the blast bow, and most importantly, I cover the capital peak with that rage. And you'll see why it's important in a moment. So right now, I've brought archers, and so I am sprinkling my archers to take care of the flanking defenses. If you look down at the troop bar, you might know what I'm about to do to this space. And I drop that ram. Notice how I drop it at a low angle. That's going to be important in a second. After I drop in some more camps of archers, I actually dropped in that one camp of archers into the Capital Peak shot. Be careful because the Capital Peak fires really slowly. And sometimes you might drop your archers timed with when the shells come down. So be careful on that, don't do that. But anyways, I just want to clear out this last air bombs to the right of this Capital Peak. And I'm actually going to do my signature wizard bomb against this base. So I already have the rage down, so that's why it was important to cover the Capital Peak as well, because I'm using the rage for the super wizards, and then I will drop a heal. Make sure I cover the giants that are going to be attacking the Capital Peak, and I drop one giant towards the Capital Peak. I try to drop two giants to cover the giant cannons. This one giant cannon doesn't get distracted, that's fine, but notice how I drop the giants low into that opening in the wall, and then I drop my wizards high so that they don't get splashed by the rocket artillery coming down. And so I chain down those two giant cannons, that rocket artillery, and then those two, you saw two wizard towers, and then two Teslas popped as I reached 51%, and I chained those down as well. So with 4 super wizards, I was able to get all of that. And I didn't think it was going to be possible to take the space out in 2 attacks given what I had to work with, but man, that super wizard value was just insane. So at this point, I'm just trying to get as much as I can, and you'll see there isn't any splash defenses left on this base. So I was considering using the Larrys, but I mean, there are so many traps in the Capital Peak that I figured that trying to use the mass Larrys would just be a waste of my amazing setup. So I just bring Hog Riders. This is another way you can use the Larrys. You send them in behind your Hog Riders, and look, they can get so much value when there isn't splash defenses left on the base. So that one pack of Larrys I sent north are going to take out those 2 defensive super giants that my Hogs can't even hit. And they're also going to provide a lot of tanking for the point defenses, as well as starting cleanup early. I almost always bring 1 or 2 Skelly Barrels on my hog attacks, and I drop them in to help tank for my hogs. And you'll notice I just completely crushed the space on this second attack, and that was one of the coolest super bombs I've ever done. And I hope you guys liked this video. Like and subscribe if you did, and also remember to tune in for Friday's stream at 6 p.m. EST if you're interested. But that'll be all for me, and take care.